Welcome back to another video, guys. In today's episode we are back at the junkyard. There is quite a selection today. A lot of the stuff has already been gone through. Unfortunately, what I'm specifically here for is an E46 facelift coupe, but they don't have any. They have a few convertibles, quite a few sedans. The most I've seen usually at the junkyard. These two rows are full of BMWs. There is actually some nicer stuff here for once, but not quite what we need. This first vert, I'm probably just gonna end up taking the facelift airbag because those are usually hard to come by. So I'll just snatch this out. Car is full with the engine, a transmission, and a bunch of junk. So actually something nice to see is there is a little E92 coupe right here, and it has peanut butter interior, which is actually pretty nice in these. This is actually quite a nice spec for what it was. It's pretty destroyed right now. Would have been a pretty nice car if it didn't end up in this state. Don't see many E36s here, but here is actually one that was a sedan. Doesn't look too bad, but it definitely has seen some brighter days. Pretty ran through already. It was an automatic, unfortunately. Another E46 sedan. I needed pre-facelift or possibly facelift taillights, but all the convertible ones don't fit the coupe, and neither do the sedan. And there is no coupe here, so just a bunch of pretty much base E46s. Nothing really standing out, but there is quite a few 330s here, which is usually not something you see. Here is a 2005 330, which is actually pretty rare. I mean, it's automatic, the door doesn't open, but being a 330 and a late model year is usually kind of hard to come by, so that's pretty cool. 7 Series here on some aftermarket wheels. Don't see that too often, but I think it's only 1, maybe 3. Not sure what's going on in here. Pretty much all the way complete. Has some nice silver trim on it. Definitely has seen its fair share of picking and pulling. All these engines are half dropped out, which is kind of a shame because there is one manual transmission, and I want to grab the OEM shifter, but the engine isn't even dropped. It's like wedged between the radiator and like the firewall. And I'm not getting under there to pull the shifter out. That is extremely sketchy, so we might have to end up leaving that. This one actually looks pretty nice on the inside. Dang, that's something you don't see either. I think this is saddle brown, something maybe. Definitely the darker brown, but that's pretty rare. You don't usually see that often at all. Looks to be pretty good except for the driver's seat. The rear seats look pretty good, so if somebody needed saddle brown interior swap, this is actually pretty fresh. I actually like this, especially if you cleaned it up, it'd be pretty nice. These amber taillights are actually pretty nice. If I had a sedan, I would for sure be grabbing these. 330 Xi. Dang, they actually got some not bad stuff here. Again, with the peanut butter interior. Dang. Of course, locked. This is actually nice. Too bad it's pretty destroyed, but all black dash, a little bit of peanut butter. I like the silver ring dials on the cluster. Got a nice little Bilstein in the front seat. This interior is pretty valid. I actually like this. Oh, I need a center console. This one, that's not that bad. Tabs are good. Bottom is good. I forgot he needed one of these. I forgot to even look at them. I might take this one. Of course, the engine is halfway dropped out and kind of wedged. Same thing here, but here's an actual blue one. See if the color code does not say. But it is a darker, nicer blue. Transmission is, of course, halfway wedged in there, of course. And this one's a manual, big dog. All right, let me see if I could figure something out. Grab that shifter. Let me see, does it say if it's OEM? It looks shorter, but let me see if I could get to it without risking my life. Shifter is out. Success. This car actually had some really nice trim in it. Unfortunately, it is split up and broken. Looks like they just painted it, but it is actually quite nice. If it was a complete set, I would definitely be taking it, but it is pretty split up. Somebody wants almost a full phone number. There you go. I'm probably gonna take just a normal mirror because I have the oval ones in both my M3's, but they've definitely have seen some brighter days with glass leaking. So I'm gonna try to find the cleanest one, and we'll take an oval mirror, and I'll see if I can find another cleaner center console, and then we'll take that too. Came back, just struggled to take out this airbag. I don't even know where it fell, out there on the floor. Struggled to take it out just to find out it had a nick. So we put it back. But coming over here, there is, I think, just a rep 359M. I think that's what the code is, but there's only one of them. So that kind of sucks. If there was a full set, this would have been a pretty nice little come up just for some drift spares or something extra. So we'll continue looking through, see if I can find another airbag, check out the center consoles, and then we'll see what the rest of the row has for us. We got an E39 here with the whole rear end cut off. They left behind the actual facelift taillights, but only one is hella. The other one is a replica, and both have some scratches and some, I think both are cracked. But rest of the car, got a little bit of an accident right here. It's just gray interior, automatic. There's really nothing much to it. Nothing really left of the front either. Engine is hanging on by a thread. Headlights are gone, bumper's gone. There was one here on the website that had a facelift bumper, so I don't know if I missed it or if it's in the rest of the row that I haven't seen. But there's really not much to salvage here. Being gray interior, kind of, it is what it is. There's really nothing much, but a bunch of records on the floor, a bunch of books. Another ripped apart E46 interior has been gone through as well. Whole dash is missing, center console, nice little steering rack and the footwell. Really not much left here. At least they did leave all the stuff they picked apart, and they actually put it in the trunk, so that's good, instead of just throwing it around. So if anybody needs something, it is still left here. Got an E90, gray interior, how nasty. Tan interior, how nasty. Here's something a little more worth talking about. We have two E38s here with the engines decently intact. This one's been picked through a little bit, but the one right here, let me put my goodie bag down. A little flathead. This one seems to be pretty decently intact. Definitely had some oil leaks, but doesn't look like they opened up too much and left it to the elements. This one would be savable. This one a little bit not, just because it is open to the element. Both are tan interior. Nothing special going on in here. Pretty ripped apart. This one definitely is a little bit older. Let's see what year this is. 98. And both are 98s, so a little bit older, but definitely have two engines that are worth saving or picking apart for some parts. At least this got some black interior. Smells so terrible in there, and of course engine's halfway hanging on. Another sport airbag. This one looks way cleaner, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this one. Has aluminum trim, but I don't see any of the other pieces. There's one right there. I'll look around and see if there's anything else, but that'll be pretty cool if it has the full set. Here was the LCI 540. The taillights are here, but both have slight chips in them. They're both OEM, but they have slight chips, so I don't really think it's worth it. They ripped apart a decent amount of the interior. Unfortunately, the valuable piece of the automatic headlight switch, that is gone, seems to be missing. This actually had black headliner, which was pretty cool. It did have an M Sport front bumper in the picture. Did have obviously the LCI headlights, those are gone. Engine is a little bit disassembled, but probably still worth a little bit in parts. Of course, the rest of it doesn't have, oh, it does. It has an M Sport rear bumper, but it's cracked. Dang, I could use this for the M5. But it's cracked right here. Is it savable? I don't know. It's literally sitting on the rim, so I think I'd have to get the car in the air to get this. Man. Stuck in traffic on the way home. It was just me for a minute, but then towards that last segment, there was a bunch of people walking around and everyone was going back and forth, so I ended up stop filming. At the end, I pulled out another shifter. I got a few random pieces. I was gonna pull out the original manual shifter I found, but it was so wedged in there and the car was completely unstable. I was shaking it and the whole car was swinging back and forth, so I decided not to. I figured 2 was enough. The steering wheel airbags that I got, they refused to sell to me. So I was literally going around picking out the cleanest airbags, assuming they would sell them. Nope, they told me I cannot buy them. So that was a waste of time and a waste of my hopes, because those were actually super clean and I thought I was gonna re-up on my stash. It ended up being like $100 something for everything. Actually at the end too, I realized I was gonna take a bare console with none of the stuff, and I already know how they work. They were just probably gonna charge me the same amount for a complete console versus one that had nothing. So I completed the console with the best parts that I could find, and then I also ended up finding I think a manual shift boot and the foam that was in good condition. So I got a bunch of random stuff in the trunk, $100 worth. As soon as we get home, we will take it out. Stuck in a little bit of traffic right here. Hopefully go home soon, but I don't know about all that. Man, I miss DCT, but this car is amazing. We have arrived back home, and here is the collection of goodies we got at the junkyard. Low-key seemed like a little bit more, but it was a lot of stuff for me to carry. Would have been nice if I was able to get those steering wheel airbags. I for sure would have grabbed 2 or 3 of them. But with that being said, let's just get a quick recap on what we ended up taking. So these headrests, obviously they're different leather and they're a little bit different from the actual M3 ones. The M3 ones have like some light blue color stitching, but the leather actually in this is super soft. These just wear so well over time. They stay extremely squishy and soft, especially the seats in these. I think it's Dakota. It might be Dakota. I think it's a little bit. I think Napa is the smooth and Dakota is the more rougher. But the Dakota leather wears so well over time, especially being 20 something years old. Most of the seats in the Dakota cars are always nice and soft and squishy. Napa ones get pretty rock hard and rip apart. So just grab those. Not sure if it will actually fit or match in the Impulse cloth coupe, so we'll figure that out. But I needed this center console for my white E46 M3. Mine is pretty beat up. Let's see if you can quickly see that. It's a little hard to see, but mine is completely peeling and is pretty destroyed. So for sure needed one. This one is not perfect. Definitely needs to be cleaned up, but around the edges, you can see there are some scratches, but this will be pretty easy to refinish, or they're easy to swap, so I could just use this for now. I was gonna take this bare, but I ended up grabbing the full console and all the accessories. So I was able to get this armrest, which has a little bit of a scratch, but the leather is squishy and soft. The rest of it seems to be okay. I got that. I got the coin tray. I got the cup holder, which isn't too terrible. I got the e-brake boot, the back section, and this one is probably the worst condition, but again, it was like $10 for all of it complete. And I saw on the receipt, he marked it as bare. So I was able to get all this one piece, one price, and it was all pulled apart already. So it saved me a bunch of time. That was a pretty good come up, something I needed. These mirrors are pretty, I mean, they come in all the base cars, but this glass is good. It has the actual LED bulb, the blinker. I was able to get this mirror and the plastic pieces for it, just a few bucks. I didn't really need this, but this coupe came with non-automatic headlights, so I just grabbed this because I was in there while I was there. Might as well just grab it. So I took this in case I ever retrofit or just want to fake, make my car a tiny bit nicer and assume you have automatic lights, even though I don't. This is the aluminum trim. I wasn't able to get the center console piece. It was destroyed, but I don't really see this that often to begin with, and it wasn't cracked. It doesn't look to be really scratched, so I grabbed all 3 pieces of those just because. I didn't even notice this, but when I was grabbing these headrests, I opened up the back door and it was literally just sitting there. So I grabbed this, might as well just grab it if it's there. But the boot actually looks really good condition. It's kind of hard. A lot of the aftermarket ones, this does not really exist, and it really kind of slacks and falls down on the actual shifter. So I saw this, grabbed it. Of course, I don't really need it, but can never have too many. 2 stock shifters. This one looks a little more crustier, but I know all this stuff will clean up. The actual clips where the shift boot, or the shift knob, sorry, when that clicks in, looks okay. This bushing doesn't look overly destroyed. It's greasy and pretty nasty, but it'll clean up. Should just be the stock normal shifter, says BMW. These should just be universal for pretty much all older manual E46s. Grabbed another one, which looks a little bit cleaner, definitely a lot cleaner. Same thing, bushing looks good. The actual boot looks pretty good. And that's about it. So I grabbed all this for $105.73. The center console was the most expensive. The vent was, I guess he charged me for vents for 3 interior pieces. The shifter boot, $5. Headrest, $9. Mirror, $11. I don't know why he gave me 30-day warranty. I said I didn't want that. And 2 brackets. Apparently these are brackets. Can't really be mad at it. So $105.73. I think that's pretty good. Seeming just a stock shifter is like $170. Console's $130. Trim pieces are probably $100. Shift boots $30-$40. Headrest $30-$40. Not mad at all. Coming over here, I got some random assortment of goodies. I just gotta say one thing in this video. It's kind of the wrong video for it, but I was obsessed with the Imola Red and I was fiending for it. Wouldn't stop until I bought it. Now I'm upset because as soon as I drove it home, the diff kind of is on its way out. So we got to do a diff swap on this car. And now I'm kind of falling in love with the Alpine White E46 M3. I posted it for sale and I really don't want to sell it. So now I've been driving this one, and hence on the stock shifter, I want to get rid of the, I think it's probably a Rogue Engineering, I'm assuming, because this car had a bunch of RE stuff to begin with, but I want to get rid of the short shifter. It feels terrible. So I have shifter kit bushings coming. They'll be here tomorrow. So the Imola Red will get a diff swap, and I have some fresh fluid. I was going to go with OEM BMW fluid, but the kit was like $200, and that's kind of outrageous. So I heard really good reviews on Motul, and this had good friction modifier in it. So I will put this in the diff, try it out. Worst case, I will go with genuine BMW if it does not really work out that well. Since I'm going to be swapping the diff, I kind of want to paint it. So I bought some chrome aluminum high temp automotive paint. I have some black paint that'll be here tomorrow. So I kind of want to paint the diff, get it looking nice. I have some cheap grills for the E39 M5. And then something that bothered me is these headlights have quite a bit of marking on them. So again, these are like $40 on Amazon, and they actually fit great and they work and they have really good reviews. So be swapping those over and getting this car a little bit dialed in. Most of these parts are for this car, but let's come up. So we're gonna make the Alpine White Coupe a little bit nicer, and we're gonna work on the Imola Red. Gonna swap the diff probably this week and hopefully get this car back on its feet. So that's about it for this video. I appreciate everybody for watching. Let me know if you think $105, 73 cents. Let me know if it was worth it. We'll be back ASAP. It was a good junkyard run. Was happy I went. I was actually procrastinating, not gonna go. Glad I went. So like, comment, and subscribe, guys, and we will be back with more content ASAP. Later, guys.